The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
It's arguably the hottest brand on the planet right now, and it's turning the world pink with a massive marketing campaign that includes collabs with everyone from Gap, Pinkberry, Crocs, Maserati, Billie Eilish, and countless others. And at 64 years old, the brand has never felt more exciting and relevant. This week, its number one product steps out of her dream house and onto the big screen for her shot at being a bona fide movie star. Like Cher, Adele, and Madonna, she is part of that elite club who only needs one name. This week's On Brand is On Barbie.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa. What's got you giggling today, Jon? Or do you have Barbie fever like the rest of America?
You know what? I'm actually super excited about this episode. I was realizing that this episode brings a bunch of first to the pod. This is, and not to get ahead of myself, but this is the first brand we're talking about that really has a woman leading the charge. This is the first episode where the brand that we're talking about was an influence in our own logo. I won't say we're using the Barbie being on brand, but I will say it's a tip of the hat to the Barbie bee, which I for some reason, I think it's like, for some reason that makes it special. Like I kind of want to hit an episode for every brand that's in our logo. I think that'll be super fun. And it's the first brand that we're talking about that has a major motion picture coming out the same week that we're talking about it. So it's just a hot topic
This
right
is
now.
Definitely, Barbie is on everybody's lips. It's the most culturally relevant brand I think I've ever experienced in my lifetime.
It's literally everywhere. I was just traveling. It's at the airport. There's Barbie posters. I went past a Pinkberry and they've got a Barbie Sunday. Like it's literally just everywhere.
It does feel wild. And I just, to be a fly on the wall of these marketing meetings, I mean, I would give anything.
It almost feels limitless to what you can do. What I'm loving about this brand right now is that it makes everything fun. We're kind of coming out of this gloomy, doomy world, and it's bright pink. It's like just pops of color, which is my sensibility, which is pop art, but it's just fun and bright and new and fresh, and I'm living for it.
Yeah, it definitely feels like everybody was, I don't know, like culturally, the timing of this movie, it struck at the exact time where everybody is ravenous for Barbie.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would have been quite as igniting everybody's souls in the same way like 5 years ago, but now people are so hungry for Barbie. It's just the best time that this could have ever come out. People who maybe never even thought of themselves as Barbie people are now desperate to see, be, live Barbie.
Yeah. And I will say, I am one of those people. I don't really have an association with Barbie. It's not something I connect to from my childhood. I never owned a Barbie. I don't think
That's a surprise.
Why?
You know, it just seems like you're in your den dressing up your gals.
Babe, I was a vampire. I didn't have a pink cape. I was full on vampire. No, but I didn't even have like a Ken doll. Did you? Like my association with Barbie is so limited. When I think of Barbie in childhood, I think of it's so random, her leg, and how when you bend her leg, it had that poppy knee joint, and
click,
I
click,
found
click.
that's so satisfying. We went to Target today to visit the Barbie aisle, and I found a Barbie, her arm did that, and I just found that click very satisfying. But literally, that's it for me and Barbie.
Yeah, that like smooth rubbery skin over that ball joint. You just saying click, click. I forgot about that about Barbies.
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on smooth skin and ball joint. I don't know how you took something that I found so satisfying and fun and turned it so weird.
I mean, that's like what I imagined it looked like if you could peel away her rubbery Barbie skin.
Babe.
At one point, like by the time I transitioned out of Barbies, I had, I think, a full Rubbermaid garbage bin full of Barbies and like Barbie paraphernalia. I loved a new Barbie because the bangs weren't chopped off to oblivion. The hair was still shiny and smooth. It didn't have like crayon all over its face. Like, because my family never got rid of anything. So like the Barbies with the hair chopped off, like we just kept. So I had some Barbies that were like beyond disfigured. And then like for your birthday, you'd maybe get a new Barbie and she was so pristine. And then like gradually over the passing months, she would get disfigured just with time. This is a bit of a spoiler to our conversation later about our trip to the Barbie aisle, but I got a new Barbie today and we took her in the pool.
Already?
I had like a pang of like a stored trauma of like when the Barbie's hair is so perfect out of the box. And then the very first time it goes in the bubble bath and it's never the same again. It gets like squeaky and frizzy. And I don't know, they just never bounce back from being dunked in water.
Well, to be fair, if I remember correctly, your daughter said that particular Barbie was a deep sea diver.
She is a deep sea diver. And on the box, it said to let her dry before storage.
Okay, so she's meant to get wet.
Which gave me a clue that she probably can't get wet. I'm shaking her now. There's a bit of water rattling around in there. Don't know what to do about that. She might be molding as we speak.
You saying that reminds me of thrift shopping, and there was always like just a bin of just raggedy old Barbies at the thrift store for like 50 cents a doll. And I always wondered like who was investing in that?
In old Barbies?
In old beat up Barbies.
Maybe for a craft.
Maybe a craft or some weird like voodoo necklace or something. I do remember my sisters had, if I'm remembering correctly, they had like a giant Barbie head that was like shoulders up. I think it must have been to put makeup on her or something or cut her hair or do something with it. But it was just like 10 times the size of a normal Barbie head.
Yes, there was a disembodied Barbie head that was for hair and makeup styling. And I never had one, but at like friends' houses, they would have that. But at the same time, it's like, how long does that hair stay nice? Like people are drawing on it with marker, the face, it's a Sharpie to the face. The shelf life is so short.
You've brought up the marker twice, and I haven't seen the movie yet. I was hoping that I had some sort of Hollywood connection that would allow me to see the film.
To get early access to
yes,
Barbie?
I was like texting people yesterday, like, hey, do we have a connection that can get a copy of Barbie? But I did read a little bit about it, and apparently there is a character based on that. I don't know if she actually has marker on her face, but she's supposed to represent that Barbie, the one that's kind of gone through hell.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of trying to redo the makeup with markers. There was a lot of, if a Barbie had bangs and you didn't like bangs, you would just cut the bangs off, which I don't know how much you know about bang science, but that's not how you get rid of bangs, by cutting them off.
No, that just makes it worse.
It makes it much worse.
Now, have you had to have this talk with your daughter yet about that doll hair doesn't grow back?
No, it actually hasn't come up. I walked in on her giving a self haircut. So I've kind of said that only grown-ups cut hair. Hopefully she'll translate that to dolls as well.
Yeah, I do feel like that might be something that parents should, as early as a child will understand it, teach them, is that fur and hair doesn't grow back.
I'll wake her up and tell her.
Yeah. Let's go tell her now.
I'll shake her awake.
Your doll is molding and don't cut her hair. Sweet dreams.
Well, John, let's get into it. I'm dying to hear about Barbie. Tell me about the history. I don't know anything about this gal.
Yeah, it's like I was telling you, one of the things I was very excited about as I started researching this was finding out that there was a woman at the helm. Her name
Thank God.
Right? I feel like this is our 9th episode, and it's always some man. Well, don't worry. There is men behind this, but we have a woman up front, and her name is Ruth Handler. She was born in 1916 and married her high school sweetheart, Elliot. And the two of them were running a successful furniture company and doing something that not everybody does, and was making furniture out of different types of plastic.
Whoa.
Lucite and plexiglass, which, you know, is probably a seed to where we're going. I think we all know. And World War II came along, and then the furniture business kind of tanked. And then for some reason, they started making toy furniture out of these same plastics. That ended up being a huge success. And they decided to do a whole company that just did toys. And that's how Mattel ended up coming about.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mattel? Mattel started from, like, Barbie predates Mattel?
Barbie is what put Mattel on the map.
Wow.
Now, you might be asking yourself, Mattel, that doesn't sound anything like Ruth, and it doesn't sound anything like Handler. And as we've learned, as we've been doing this podcast, that most of the time the name is created from someone's name. Mm-hmm. Well, Ruth and Elliot decided to get a partner, and his name...
A throuple?
Yes, it was going to be a throuple. And his name was Harold Matt Matson. So they decided they'll take the Matt and the L from Elliot and make Mattel. And her husband was like, Ruth, I'm sorry. We don't have room in the name for any part of your name.
Matruthtel. Not quite the same
Right.
ring.
It doesn't roll off the tongue, but I do feel like there could have been other names. It's not like it has to be Mattel.
Yeah, that's a little rude.
Yeah, and not only that, she was the first president of Mattel. She was the president of Mattel for 30 years.
She's not doing it for the spotlight. She doesn't need that. Love of the game and the money, I'm sure. I hope she was well paid.
She didn't make a cent. Not one penny. That's where this story takes a tragic turn. I hope they explore this in the film. She died penniless.
You saying doll furniture and then real furniture gave me a really good idea for a table. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
So when you get a pizza box, you know how it has like that little white table?
We all do. We've all used it as a table.
You pretend it's a doll table?
Yeah.
What if you made like a full-size table that looked like that?
So just a white basic plastic table?
Yeah, but it's like a circle and it has 3 legs.
I don't.
It wouldn't be obvious that that's what it was. It would just look like a white table. And then like people would be sitting in your foyer, they're chatting. They'd be like, that table, I have to ask.
Listen, as a friend, I'm supporting this.
I love
as
that.
a human, I
Uh-huh.
feel like it's out there already.
My Kickstarter will be live by the time the episode launches.
I don't know that I would apply to Shark Tank with this idea, but babe, if you want to make a 3-legged white plastic table, I'm on board.
I'm already on it.
Okay. So here we are. We've got this woman, president of this new toy company, and they need a hit. She goes, as they always do, she's traveling through Europe. She comes across this doll in Germany that's called the B-I-L-D, Lily doll. And this doll doesn't look anything like the dolls that she's seen in America. And it is one of 2 inspirations that led her to Barbie. It looks more like a woman, and it's kind of like a risque, kind of like bachelor party gift. It's like kind of like a sexy little doll that you give like your guy friends.
What the hell?
How
big is it?
It's like, a foot. Like 12 inches.
12 inches?
I'm assuming.
What's
yeah.
it wearing?
Please pause while I research what this doll is wearing.
I mean, if it's like a bachelor party gift, it seems like
it was probably carved out of soap or something. I don't know. This is the right question. It's just like I have 7 pages of research, and I'm just waiting for the things that you asked that I didn't research. I mean, God damn it.
What's this doll wearing? She
has-
sounds hot.
Yeah, it was a hot dog. Don't put it out in the sun. I did see that people put it on their dashboards and stuff. So
And it melted?
Well, no, because it probably actually wasn't carved out of soap. I'm just thinking, I don't know what this doll look like. It's not totally the point, but I love the Inquisitions. So, and the other thing that inspired her was she saw all the kids playing with dolls in America, and they were all baby dolls. There were no dolls that looked like a young woman or a woman. And so in her mind, that only allowed little girls to imagine that they were mothers. She wanted the little girls to have a doll that allowed them to realize they could be other things than a mother. And that's where, as we know, Barbie goes on to have a million different careers.
And what is wrong with being a mother?
There's nothing wrong with being a mother, but
well, Ruth.
it is one option for a young woman. So that's what she was trying to do here.
That's fair.
Yeah.
At that time too, I mean that wasn't really as much on everyone's radar that there were things you could be besides.
No,
a
I mean,
mother
this
to a
is
baby.
we're talking 1959, where that is kind of the mindset of America.
Of course, women were shackled to the kitchen.
Shackled to the kitchen, and she wanted them to head out of the house. So 1959, she actually bought the rights to that German doll so she could make something similar here in America. And that's what launched Barbie. She made the dolls and took them to the New York Toy Fair, which we've discussed with Fisher-Price. She sells them. They become an instant hit. And in the first year, they sell 300,000 of these dolls.
Wow.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cash back really adds up.
Find yourself looking for a new job or change in career? Monster.com is here to help. We are not only here to bring you job postings, but also AI interview prep and salary tools, expert career advice, and top-notch resume services. We've got everything you need to land your perfect job fit. Discover the magic of finding the ideal job with Monster.com. Your future starts now. Visit Monster.com today. Your next job opportunity is just a click away.
Is that the original Barbie when you think of like the first Barbie, the one with that little like bouffant little hair and like the eyeliner? And is she in like a black and white leotard?
That's exactly
that's the first
it.
Barbie.
It's like her job was fashion model. She wore a black and white striped swimsuit. I think she had that ponytail.
Yeah, like
and
an
the
I Love
bangs.
Lucy kind of bang and a ponytail.
Yeah. And that's what kicked it all off. They cost $3. And so then, and it just kind of snowballs from there. In 1961, they introduced Ken. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Barbie was named after Ruth's daughter.
Aw.
So then they introduced Ken, and they named that after her son, which is very sweet. And I don't know if you have thoughts on Ken. We're going to hit Ken a little later.
On his mound?
On his mound, on his hair, on his
A lot of
wardrobe.
thoughts on his mound.
Let's save Ken. We're going to...
Well, because it's like, why have anything? Like, if it was just completely flat, it's like, okay, there's no genitalia. To suggest a mound.
What would your ideal Ken genitalia be?
Full testicles.
No penis.
No penis.
Just two
hairy balls.
You want hair down there too. I feel
do.
like that's going to be a cost issue, but
Yeah.
Why no
you know
penis?
there's somebody hand
stitching
inserting that hair.
Ken's pubes. There's a lot of people that would probably like that job.
What's your issue with Ken?
I don't have an issue with him. I'm not convinced that him and Barbie dated.
What do you mean?
I'm not convinced they were in a relationship.
You don't see any chemistry?
Okay, why don't we jump to Ken real quick?
I'd love to talk Ken.
Because I will tell you how they describe Ken. According to Mythos, Ken met Barbie on the set of a TV commercial and is
Wait. What?
Yeah.
Wait. So in this world,
Yeah.
Barbie is an actress?
She has over 250 careers. Actress being one.
Actress
of them.
being one of them.
Yeah.
So she met on set and Ken is an actor.
They were both filming a commercial. Yeah.
For what? For
I
Barbie?
swear to God,
Like
you
a
and your
commercial for
questions.
Barbie?
Do you have any idea how many days I have researched this show? Just for the audience, I have 7 pages of research. They were in a commercial for cat food. I don't know, Marissa.
I mean, if it was cat food, that would be interesting. It's like
That's what would make this interesting
in
for
this
you.
world of Barbie, she's a spokesgirl for like a cat food brand.
Why does it matter?
I just
What
I
she's
love
in the
that.
commercial for.
I see her in her trailer like I got passed over for another part.
This is 1961. They're not going to create the whole backstory for this. They're 2 beautiful actors in a commercial. They see each other and they fall in love. And according to the box at that time, Ken is her boyfriend. Now, that was the case pretty much through 2018. There was some weird, like, canon moments where they break up and they take some time apart. And
What?
I
Based
know.
on what?
I don't know. It's like, any relationship.
There's like a breakup Barbie where she's like on the couch with a box of bonbons. Like, what is this how does this manifest in reality in our realm? The human realm.
Sad
where
Barbie.
we live.
She comes with 4 cats and she just needs a little bit of space.
Okay.
And Ken's at the club, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like the breakups didn't bother him that much. And they officially, in 2018, describe him now on the box as one of Barbie's main friends.
Main friends.
Main friends.
Okay.
Like, I feel like that's how you would describe me.
That's how I describe my husband as my main friend.
He's my main friend.
In quotes. You want to keep your options open. I have a lot of friends. He's the main one.
So During this time before the breakup, 2 Ken dolls came out that I would like to discuss briefly.
Okay.
First, 1993, we have Earring Magic Ken.
What? Stop.
His name is Earring Magic Ken. He's part of an earring line.
An earring line?
Yeah, there was different Barbies that had earrings. They came with little clip-ons so the child could wear like an earring too.
Okay, I remember this. It was like a little post and like a seashell or something, and it stuffed into the sides of their heads.
Right, you just plunge it into their head.
Plunge it into their temples.
So he had an earring. Let me help you visualize what this Ken doll looked like. He wore a mesh shirt.
Okay.
That's enough right there.
Okay.
I should be done.
Yikes.
Mesh shirt. What color was it?
Neon green.
Lavender.
Oh, boy.
Lavender. Lavender mesh shirt. Accessories included, lavender mesh shirt. He wore a purple vest. He wore a purple vest. He had one piece of jewelry as an accessory. What was it? A necklace. What did it look like? Just a circle.
Oh, no.
What is that in the gay world?
Oh, no.
That's a cock ring. He wore a cock ring necklace.
Oh, boy. Wait, a vest over a mesh shirt. Is that a look?
Yeah, it's a look.
You've worn
You've
that?
never seen me in my vest and mesh shirt.
I've seen you in your necklace.
Yeah,
and I know what it means.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so
he is smooth.
he's very smooth. That's not my type, but this episode is not about what I'm looking for. So the gay population has deemed Earring Magic Ken as either gay Ken or fey Ken, and he's just a whole thing. It gets better than that. Jump ahead 15 years. It's 2009. What comes out? Palm Beach Sugar Daddy Ken. We all know Mattel says this is a special line of doll. It's for adult collectors. This wasn't for the kids. It was part of Barbie's 50th anniversary collection. And
I didn't know they marketed any Barbies to adults.
yeah, there's so many avenues of Barbies. There's collector editions.
Wow.
There's expensive. Yeah, there's so many. And this is part of that. And people, of course, you have a sugar daddy Ken and people are going to throw an uproar about it. Mm-hmm. Mattel comes back and says, oh, no, we didn't want you to take it that way. He comes with a tiny little white dog named Sugar.
Oh, and he's Sugar's daddy.
And he's Sugar's daddy.
Of course.
His outfit, which I'm sure you're dying to know, he wore a green printed blazer, a pink button-up shirt, and white pleated slacks. He had golden blonde hair with frosted, like, gray tips to show that he was a little bit older. Then he was fading gray. And then, like I said, he came with a little white dog and hot pink.
Ken ages?
Ken ages for Sugar Daddy Ken, yeah.
Okay.
And the dog had a hot pink leash.
Oh, boy. What year is this?
This is 2009.
Okay, so this is not like Miami Vice era. This is like 2009.
No. This is like...
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. The doll cost $82.
Wow. Oh, so the gays came out, I'm sure, and scooped all these up.
You couldn't buy them anywhere. They were sold out. I'm sure they
eBay
were
is
buying
ravaged.
multiples, giving them to their twinks, and it was a whole scene. It was every twink for Christmas in 92 got Palm Beach Sugar Daddy Ken.
Wow, I love that.
And probably a little white dog too, like their own real little white dog, just so they could role play.
That's really cute.
So my question for people that are listening, is Ken gay or nay? They can tell us on Instagram what they think, if they have their own thoughts behind it. Is Ken gay? So did you say you were shocked that he was, or you just don't care?
No, I've never heard any like fan theories that Ken is gay.
It's never entered your mind that Ken is gay?
No, never. I just thought he was like a really preppy kind of dorky guy. And to me, this was only through the lens of a safe looking guy without any edge at all for like a child to play with. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's interesting that you use the word safe, because throughout my life, you know who I find most women to feel safe with?
Who?
Their gay best friends.
That is so true. Wow.
Yeah.
I love this theory.
I love this theory too, but let's see what other people have to say. All right, so Ken comes out in 61. 62, Barbie gets her dream house. We've all heard about the dream house. We've all dreamed about the dream house. Speaking of dream house, did you know that currently this weekend there is on Airbnb a Barbie dream house in Malibu that you can book for one night? They're doing it for 2 nights, and it's free. and it's already booked because I looked after I found out about it today and I was like, ooh, let's get it if it's free. It is the most insane thing that I have ever seen in my life.
This only exists as a promotional tool for the movie. Like that's like why
this
they
is
did this.
Private
This
residence,
is a private person.
and I will just show you pictures quickly so you can see what it looks like. It is unreal what this house looks like.
Wait, this is what the house looked like existing, or the
this
person
is
like
a real house. It looks exactly like Barbie's
Okay, so
house.
John's showing me pictures. It's like completely. It looks like the miniature version of a Barbie dream house, but full scale.
There's like a giant plastic horse in one of the rooms. It's Barbie pink, as I'm sure you probably know. Barbie has its own pink.
So somebody just lives like this?
Yeah, apparently. Or they just rent it out for people, or they do it just to get famous for having Barbie's house.
Boy, what a wild way to spend your riches.
Right? It's crazy. But it would have been fun to go to. It has like very manicured grass. We'll put pictures of it on Instagram so you can see what it looks like. But we're not staying there.
If you had to turn your house into the living manifestation of any brand, what would it be? Like if that's the Barbie dream house, what would your house be? The equivalent of a John dream house.
That's a great question. But you said a brand. Like
Yeah.
the equivalent
Like would it be Hogwarts?
like a castle? I guess Swatch, even though that's a watch.
You would turn your house into a Swatch?
No, but Swatch is, I'm looking at it as a brand as a whole. Like Swatch is fun and they use bright colors and unconventional materials. They have connections in the art world. So I feel like it would be, if it was a Swatch inspired home, I feel like it would be a very cool house.
The bed would be like a row of 5 of those giant swatches.
Yeah. Everything would tick really loud.
Everything would tick really loud.
Okay, bad answer. I don't know. Do you have one that you're thinking of? Because that's a hard question. If you think of a brand as a whole, unless you're like,
You know what was fun? Going
Martha Stewart.
That is a really
It
good
would be
one.
Martha Stewart.
Bedford Gray.
Bedford. Yep.
Yes.
It would be in Vermont or wherever she is. And I would have chickens. Yep. I'm going to
You know, I stayed at a Disney World hotel, and the hotel rooms had little Disney touches throughout in a very subtle way, but that was very fun. Like it was at Animal Kingdom, so the wallpaper of the bathroom had like the silhouettes of the Lion King characters like walking across the savannah.
Oh, okay.
Little whispers to Disney, which I found very delightful. So I guess my pick is a Lion King.
The Lion King.
I'd like to turn my home into the Lion King.
I think your daughter would love to live in a Lion King house.
Absolutely. It sounds like a dream.
Well, I think hopefully we.
If I win the lottery, that will be my version. And you can stay in my Airbnb for $100 a night.
Even the lottery. I mean, there's a lot of people stay there for free.
Nope.
But I understand you need to probably cover cleaning costs.
Of course, at the very minimum.
All right, so 1962, she gets her dream house. 1967 is the first celebrity Barbie. Who do you think it is?
Judy Garland.
No, but that would have been so good, especially for all the
gays out
Ken
there.
collecting
Yeah.
collectors out there. No, it was Twiggy. Do you remember Twiggy?
Of course I know Twiggy.
We all know
Eyeliner on the
Twiggy.
bottom.
British fashion model. They've since gone on to make 1 million different celebrity Barbies. You have Cher. You have
I mean, again, that's also very gay.
Well,
Twiggy and Cher.
Okay, I'm going to get to some non...
Okay, go down the list.
Oh,
We'll
God,
see.
they're all gay. Maybe one. There might be one non-gay.
Okay, read the list.
Okay, here's
So
the list.
We're starting with Twiggy.
I'm gonna read a list of like 8 people. You tell me which one's not the gay one.
Okay.
And not them being gay, like gay icon.
Yes.
You have Cher.
Uh-huh.
You have Tina Turner.
Oh, boy.
You have Katy Perry.
Okay.
You have Farrah Fawcett. And then Amelia Earhart.
Oh.
And then Rosie O'Donnell and Maya Angelou.
I think they had a big meeting about who has the $80 to spend on a collector's edition Barbie, and it was not 6-year-old girls. It was a 60-year-old gay man living in Palm Springs. And who are they putting on their mantle?
Someone's like, I've always been inspired by Maya's poetry. If I could just have a tiny little version of her to sit on a shelf.
Of course.
In Barbie's body, that would be ideal.
Do they use the same bodies and just swap out the heads? Because I thought that was interesting. My the Barbie I bought today, which is a marine biologist, the head says copyright 2013. the body is copyright 2021.
Whoa.
So that tells me this is an old head on a new body with a painted on bathing suit and a scuba vest.
Okay, I'm probably going to get a little too deep right now.
Okay.
Not deep, but there is literally a Golden Girls episode, another gay iconic group of women.
Yes.
Where they talk about how the thing in the future is old heads on young bodies. Because the episode, they all die and it cuts to them in the kitchen and all their heads are on platters.
Okay.
And then Sophia comes in and she's like, oh, you didn't like pay to get a body when you die? She's like, the new thing is old heads on young bodies.
The gay demographics for this episode are going to be through the roof.
Wow. That's interesting. That might be too conspiracy theory.
I love where you're going with that. I'm going to draft an email tonight
I'm
to
connecting
Barbie.
the dots.
Uh-huh.
We're connecting the dots here. All right. 1967 celebrities. 1980. What do you think happens? First Black and Hispanic dolls that come out that are named Barbie, not just Barbie's friends. They are Black and Hispanic Barbies. Great move
Fantastic.
forward. I was happy with
kudos to them for that. You're
Kudos
ahead
to
of the
them for
game.
that. 1985, women are getting in the workplace. So they come out with Day and Night Barbie. What does that mean? 2 Barbies in one box. She's got a business suit during the day. She throws that off and she's ready to go out on the town.
Like in club wear?
Yeah, she's ready to go have fun, have a nice dinner, go to a
Wow.
club. Because that's what women were doing at the time.
That is so fun. So she would toss her pumps in her purse,
Mm-hmm.
put on her sneakers, race downtown, take her pumps out of her purse, put them back on, wait in line at Studio 54, and she's ready to have a ball.
I just want you to talk more about what she does with her shoes. And then so she gently puts the shoes in the
I
bag.
hope it was a big purse.
It was a big shoe-carrying purse because this woman's on the go and she never knows what she's going to need.
I mean, that is the dream. She bought her dream house in cash with the money she earned. She doesn't need Ken. He's a
doesn't need-
deadbeat.
I don't know, Ken's now I just call gay people Kens. Kens usually have pretty good income, so she might want to keep Ken around, but she does not need him. 1986 comes, and I threw this one in because it's kind of a personal one. She is immortalized by pop artist Andy Warhol. Why I find this significant, because if Warhol, it's kind of actually a parallel, because now we live in a world, if you become a Barbie, you've made it. Like all the people in the Barbie movie now, they're Barbies, that you are now at a new status.
Iconic.
Same with Warhol. If Warhol painted you, you are now at a new status. And I actually didn't remember that he had done Barbie, and I thought that was really cool. What's very sad is 1 year later, he passes away.
Because of the painting?
Yeah, he died because he regretted so much doing the Barbie painting. No, his death was so sad and tragic. But Barbie was one of the last pieces of work that he produced.
Wow. It's funny. I've never seen that in any Warhol, mugs or wherever.
I hope
Exhibits, anywhere.
I hope Ruth ended up with it. I hope Ruth.
I
has
would
one.
love to think it's hanging over her bed right now.
It's probably hanging up in Mattel.
She's still living,
headquarters.
right?
No, sweetie. No. She's gone.
She's
She was
long
like
gone.
47 when she came up with Barbie. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that's really encouraging. Okay, this makes me think. I'm putting on my executive hat. I want to see a Ruth movie.
That would be a great movie.
I want to see a 47-year-old actress play Ruth and, have an iconic rags to riches story. I'm assuming she was in rags. If not, write it in.
Yeah, make her raggy and then give her a bunch of beautiful
I
clothes
love
just like
that.
Barbie had.
That
I think
sounds
that's a great
great.
idea. All right. So with every good brand comes controversy.
Uh-oh, look out.
Barbie is no different. So let's touch on some of those.
Was it the Barbie that had the belly that you took off and it had a little baby inside?
I did see that one. I didn't put it on the list, but that was very disturbing.
That Barbie was a bit spooky.
Pregnant Barbie. She literally had a belly plate that you could pop off, and there was a tiny little baby curled up inside of her that showed children just how, I guess, kind of how that works. That's not really how you
But
give
not
birth.
Really how it worked.
Yeah, you don't
Do
just
think
rip open mommy's stomach.
Do you think any kids ever ate cereal out of that cavity?
Do you think any stoners ever hid pot in that
Probably,
cavity?
yeah.
I would love it if there was a website dedicated to things
You could hide in the belly cavity?
Yeah,
there
in
probably
pregnant
is.
Barbie's stomach. That would be good. No. Okay, so the first controversy comes very soon after Barbie came out, 1963. Babysitter Barbie came with a tiny little diet book that said, don't eat. Just don't eat.
What?
Don't eat.
What?
Don't
What?
eat.
My jaw's on the floor. I cannot
Mine
believe
too.
my ears.
It wasn't like 30 ways to lose weight. It was literally, you can't have food. So this is kind of the first controversy of like, one, this doll is kind of unrealistic already. Looking at her, I'm sure we've all seen the thing where someone was like,
she wouldn't be able to stand.
she'd be
if she
40
was
feet
real.
tall and have, yeah. So this book came out, Don't Eat. That caused a little bit of a stir.
Yeah, don't love that.
1975.
And it's good advice, though, if you want to lose a few pounds.
I don't support this. Mar, if that's what you want.
It's a short book.
Just blank. I said, don't eat, page 2.
Yikes.
1975, we have Growing Up Skipper, also known as Puberty Barbie. Do you remember this one?
Wait, it said puberty on the box?
No, it's just known.
Okay.
It's known for that.
One pube.
Yeah. She comes, it was like one of those Play-Doh dolls, the barbershop
Yeah.
Play-Dohs where you just push a
the
thing
back.
and pubes come gushing out of
What
her.
made it puberty skipper?
I'm glad you asked, Mar. She had a very special arm.
Huh? Everybody remembers puberty when your arm gets real special. Something real strange starts to happen to that arm. The change is coming.
So with this special arm, you cranked her arm.
Mm-hmm.
She was a young teen girl. You crank her arm. She grew an inch and her boobs popped out and she became a young woman right before your eyes.
Oh,
And I highly encourage everyone to watch the
my
commercial because they really just go
God.
boop, boop, and these two boobs. just,
that is kind of how it happens, though.
I mean, I know. I felt like it shouldn't be. I mean, that was more realistic than the belly plate and the baby in the stomach.
and the don't eat, to be honest. Can you find any of those on eBay? Tell me they're on eBay.
Oh,
I
I'm
have
sure.
to have one.
You can buy everything on eBay. So that was a controversy. Now we're going to go to 1992. 1992 is, I don't know how Mattel sees it. I see it as a very important year for Barbie. We've got 3 big events. We've got the number 1 selling Barbie to date is released. Totally Hair Barbie. Did you have one of those? Hair went all the way to the floor. It was just phenomenal.
Can you cut it or no?
No,
It's
it
just
didn't
long
grow.
hair?
It was just
Okay.
long hair, and girls loved it.
There were dolls, maybe Barbie, maybe not, where you could like crank the hair back into the head, so it like.
I remember that. That's not what this
is
was.
not that. It was just super long hair.
It was just super long, and
Okay,
the
that
kids cut
sounds
it. It was the
pretty
same
fun.
kind of thing. But it's notable because it is still the highest selling Barbie of all time. 1992 is the first time Barbie ran for president. I don't know if you know this, but Barbie has run for president every time there's been a presidential election. And in 2016, she ran on an all-female ticket.
I vote for Barbie every year. I just write her name down. I stick it in the first slot I see.
Now, 1992 also brings a controversy with it, which was made fun of on The Simpsons. There was a Barbie that came out called Teen Talk Barbie, who said a bunch of different phrases that a teenager might say. One of them being,
Mom, can I go to the mall?
yeah, can I go to the mall? Can I?
Dad, give me $20.
Why is that's your voice for
That's
Barbie?
how teens talk.
I'm picturing it being a little ditzier because for this one that she got the controversy for, she says, math class is tough.
That's not great.
That's not great.
That's not great. Not ideal.
not
Especially when
great.
there's so many other good things that teens say.
Especially when you have her being...
My braces hurt. When can I get these dang things off?
I would pay for you to go to a pitch meeting of things that Barbie should say.
I got my period in my jeans again. When am I going to get a handle on this?
Ken doesn't get hard. I saw Ken kissing a boy. Mine are all just Ken things.
You love Ken.
All right, so in honor of the math is hard debacle, I thought we could play a little game.
Fun.
I'm simply calling it Barbie by the numbers. I'm going to throw a number out to you.
Great.
You tell me what you think it represents in the world of Barbie.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no way I'm going to be right. This is like
No,
impossible.
you will get all these right. 250. We've talked about it already.
Number of Barbie shoes. So 500 total.
I'm shocked at how bad you are at Barbie by numbers.
Great. So what's the right answer?
It's how many careers she's had. She's been a
okay.
fashion model. She's been an astronaut, a pilot, a firefighter, a surgeon, a journalist, a video game developer, and an influencer.
You know what? I actually thought it said on the pack of the marine biologist Barbie, it said, what can you be? They have like a name for what their thing is now. Like you can be anything.
You can be absolutely anything. 99.
99.
This is brand specific.
99.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. 99 years as the number one toy in America.
Barbie came out in 1959, so no. I'm glad that you're learning things from this podcast. I'm glad I did 7 pages of research. So far, I've given you 2 things that have come up in the show already.
It's canon that we don't know math.
That is true.
Math is hard. Math class is hard,
math
guys.
is hard. That should be my
I
phrase.
was saying that as a teenager, the math class was hard. I got a D.
I went to a math conference.
For what?
I don't even remember. I was so good at math, though, I got invited to a conference.
I didn't know you were good at math.
I'm not anymore, but at the time, I was actually quite
Was it like a competition or like just a way for like teens who were good at math to all kind of get together and talk about how they're virgins?
I mean, it was junior high, so hopefully we weren't all virgins.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I don't know where you grew up, but okay. We'll make this the last number in the number game. This one is special. It has 2 significant things associated with it.
Great.
The number is 100.
100.
I find both of these incredibly fascinating.
Okay, that's a clue that it's fascinating. So you already said jobs over 200.
Good. You remembered something from 5 minutes ago.
100 members of the Barbie family.
Explain.
So you have Skipper.
Oh.
I learned you have Chelsea.
Right.
You have Ken.
How long do you want me to let you name
I'm
people?
assuming maybe there's 96 more.
You have Uncle Bill. You've got Carl the neighbor. No.
What's 100?
All right. More than 100 Barbie dolls are sold every minute. Every minute. Around the globe, in 140 countries, 100 dolls a minute.
You know, that's pretty insane.
Anytime I hear a fact like that, I don't know how to wrap my head around it.
It does feel kind of crazy. But then I'm thinking, well, I bought 2 today. I haven't bought a Barbie in 30 years, and I bought 2 today. So sometime when I was checking out, 98 people were also buying a Barbie at that exact second. That's pretty wild.
Right? I told you. Okay, there's another fact, which I find even more interesting that has to do with 100. It takes a 100-person team of designers, makeup artists, and other specialists to create every single Barbie.
They should cost more than $14.99 if that's the case. That is pretty crazy. I mean, to me, the face hasn't changed a ton. Has it changed over
It's
the
changed
years?
over time, yeah.
Like a little bit, maybe, but like
if you
it's
looked
not like
at
it
them, you would
looks
see it.
radically
It's pretty significant. And then I won't make you guess this one, but there's been 1 billion Barbies sold since its inception, which if you do the math, you know how I saw Taylor Swift playing in Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago?
Yes, you haven't stopped talking about it.
She would have to play that same concert at that arena 15,000 times with a Barbie in every seat to have that many Barbies. I know. Mind blown. One last controversy, and then we'll move off of this timeline. 1997, Barbie comes out with Share a Smile Becky, Barbie's friend in a wheelchair.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's great. Barbie's dream house?
No ramps.
No ramps.
All stairs.
Narrow doors.
Elevator?
Nothing that wheelchair can use.
Yikes. Yeah, that is pretty bad.
It's brought to the attention of Mattel. They tell us that they'll take care of it. 10 years later, the way they took care of it, they discontinued Becky.
Ooh.
Why change the house when you can get rid of the wheelchair?
Get rid of the friend. Now, that's not advice about what people should do with their actual wheelchair friends.
No, we are not endorsing.
If you don't have
that.
like a wheelchair accessible house,
Meet somewhere else.
meet somewhere else.
Go to a park.
Starbucks.
I will say we did do a field trip to Target today to look through the Barbie aisle. Almost all of it was gone because it was clearance, because apparently we're in between seasons, and just like clothing, seasons get cycled out on Barbies.
I didn't know that.
I learned that while I was there.
I thought the shelves were pretty bare. Not that they weren't even bare, but they were definitely picked over. I thought that was because everybody has Barbie fever like us.
I think it's probably both because you have the movie coming out. Have you seen Margot's outfits that she's been wearing at all of her events?
I have. There's been some red carpet looks that are like similar or nods to some of Barbie's iconic outfits.
There's been so many of them. It's like
great.
she's just going through all of Barbie's most incredible outfits and wearing them on all her events. And
what if she's having a mental breakdown and she thinks she is Barbie?
You know, I could see that,
it.
like the guy with Elvis who was like, he still talks like Elvis. Now half the family's gone and he's probably moved into the house. But I gotta say, I felt like he was Elvis too.
I think everybody thinks he's Elvis, most of all him.
The last thing I saw that I thought was really stupid, there's a doctor in New York who, for the price of $110,000, is selling a Barbie plastic surgery package where you are transported to and from his office in a pink Corvette.
Wow.
And you pick from a menu of items that will... it's for men too, that will allow you to most easily resemble either Barbie or Ken.
Are you going to do it?
I'm thinking about it.
Just to ride in a limousine does seem fun. I haven't been in a limousine since like...
Did I say limousine? I meant Corvette.
Oh, maybe you said Corvette.
I think I said Corvette.
I think I just really want to ride in a limousine.
I would love it if you spent $110,000 on this package. I can't wait for that limo to pick me up.
Ooh, about that. It's actually
a pink
Corvette.
So,
people are nuts. I mean, you know, who knows? Who knows what people are doing with their lives? People are crazy.
So that's what I have on Barbie. I hope that you learned something interesting about it. There's, I'm sure, something in your city going on related to Barbie. If you want to experience it more, in Santa Monica here, they have a Barbie experience with all the things we talked about. Her camper's there, and you can take pictures and you can take a picture as if you're in a Barbie box and look
That's
like
fun.
the doll. Yeah, it looks really
cool. You could
cool.
live like the ultimate Barbie day. You could go have a Barbie Pinkberry. You could go have that Barbie burger from Barbie Burgers from McDonald's.
It's just a Burger King in Brazil.
One Burger King in Brazil?
It comes with a pink sauce.
I don't think that's related to Barbie.
No, it is.
I don't know.
No, it is.
It's like an accident.
No, it is. I saw the picture. There's like a pink shake too.
Well, if you live in Brazil, you can have that burger. You could have the ultimate Barbie day and then go see Barbie in the theater and have a ball.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't know. I mean, as I said, I had a garbage can full of Barbies. I can't believe I didn't even know Ruth's name. What's her last name?
Handler.
Ruth Handler should be a household name.
I know.
There should be a Ruth Handler Barbie.
That, Marissa,
I had a good idea.
is a great idea.
Wow. I'm euphoric.
That is a great idea. That is
finally
similar to how they finally came out with a George Lucas Star Wars figure.
It's about damn time.
It's about damn time. There may already be one. And I do think people in that circle know her name. But yes, I do feel like she should be.
You don't think people want a Barbie of a little old lady?
I mean, if someone wants a Maya Angelou Barbie, someone will definitely want a Ruth Handler Barbie.
The gays would go wild for it.
Yeah. Okay, here's one last question. If you were a Barbie, what would your 3 accessories be?
Let's see. Watered down old iced coffee. It's what I'm famous for. A child who's complaining that they're too hot and they want a popsicle. And let's see. My main friend, my darling husband. He just shot me a finger gun. I think that means he's interested.
Wait, one of your accessories is a whole nother doll?
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a 2-pack.
I love that.
John, it was so nice to learn about Barbie with you today.
Well, I do hope you learned something. I'm not convinced you did, since you asked many questions about things I'd already given you the
I have
answer
a hard
to.
time retaining information.
I do too. But hopefully you'll go back and listen to the episode and learn a lot about it.
I'm going to put in headphones playing this episode while I sleep tonight on a loop.
I love
so I absorb
that.
all of it.
Well, I am very excited to see what brand you bring to the table next week.
It's my little secret. You'll have to wait for that.
Oh, you're not going to tell me?
Nope. It's a surprise. And if anybody has any Barbie stories or questions or comments, write to us on Apple Reviews. We love to hear from you guys. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Tell your friends. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
It's on,